Hey, everyone out there. I am so excited about this entire month. I mean, honestly, Mother's Day is only really celebrated one day out the month, but I decided because we celebrate women every day here at Shoot the Shush, I want to make sure that I do extra celebration for those moms that's out there in that gun community like myself. Because really, real women bear arms, right? So, when it comes to how I feel about women, I think it speaks for itself that this channel even exists. And if you're new to this channel, you may not know me so much, so I'm going to give you a little bit of inside scoop about why this channel exists and why we're doing a month-long celebration of women, particularly in the gun community. So starting this thing off here, again, welcome. I'm Mrs. Trouble. And if you're first time joining, you may not already know that I'm a firearm instructor. I provide plenty of services to many women out there, lots of men as well, children, families that want to go to the range or get a concealed carry permit in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. I have lots of fun doing this. But in doing this, I can't tell you how gratifying it is to be able to help someone overcome their fears of firearms, and particularly women. I find that lots of times women are a little bit more hesitant to own a firearm. And usually a life-changing event like maybe divorce or death of a loved one may actually may cause them to decide that they want to go ahead and be a firearm owner. Most times than often, that's usually the case, where I would have women that go through different life-changing events, and now it's like, okay, maybe it's time for me to go ahead and get a firearm. Or they're just seeing what's going on in the world, the media, and they're like, okay, it's time for me to know how to use a gun, even if I don't ever intend on using it. So that's kind of why I'm here when it comes to providing this service to our community. But to extend in that, it's really a goal to make sure that you guys have the knowledge and skills to be prepared to be a firearm owner. Because honestly, it's a great responsibility. It really is. And to add to it, sometimes the pressure comes on when I have moms that want to be a firearm instructor. Because mothers have a unique job to kind of try to do everything for everyone, and we tend to not leave too much energy for ourselves. And so that's why Shoot This actually even exists, because on my own personal journey, I was looking for something that was just mine, that was separate from the rest of my family. As I do provide so much love and care to everyone that's around me, I need something that's just for me. And this is my way of giving back to the community. This is what I love to do. I want to make sure that I'm providing something that is beneficial to you guys. Because honestly, this is what actually makes me happy. So when it comes to all of this whole mother celebration, moms need that special time to celebrate. And guys, don't feel bad. Your month is coming up next month. I got some special things planned for you. So please don't feel left out, because I do have special lineup for our Father's Day celebration as well. But this month is just about moms. So that's what we're going to be celebrating this month. And I really hope that you guys stay tuned. Each Friday at 8 p.m., I have a new guest that's coming in every Friday at 8 p.m. for the month of May. And we're going to talk about different areas about being a mom, specifically being a mom and being a firearm owner in whatever aspect that we're talking about. So I have various guests coming in to join me on that. And I would love for you guys to join that conversation too, because I always like to hear you guys' feedback. So please chime in, even now. Put in the chat box area. Let me know you guys are here. Give me a hey. I'm checking in from, I don't know, Atlanta, Georgia, or Ohio, wherever you're coming from. Please put in the chat box area. Let me know where you're reaching out from. I want to know who I'm speaking with today. Because when it comes to this whole thing of community, it's really not just in our environment, our direct environment. It extends to everyone, because we're all connected. We're speaking to one another, and I just want to let you guys know that I learn from you just like you learn from me. So we're in this together. And hey, thanks for putting in the chat. Hey, Anna and Layla. I believe it's Layla. Lala, sorry. But yeah, it's so one of those things that I just enjoy being here for you guys and being able to provide such services. So when it comes to being a mom in this industry of firearms, I feel like it holds a unique space because on one hand, you have people, putting something on us saying, okay, maybe we're being a little bit too masculine because we own firearms and we deal with guns. Oh, we're just a little bit too dangerous. And all these, thought processes that comes with women in the gun community, which really kind of, that kind of sucks because it doesn't allow us to be us. How you doing, Woody, man? Thanks for joining. So when it comes to this whole thing of women owning guns, I'm here to tell you guys that narrow narrative or stereotypes that we might hear, some of those things may not be as true as you would think. I'm not necessarily the most daintiest woman out there. Definitely by far I'm not. But I have met some ladies that are, and they're heavily in the gun community. They're just not talked about as much and may not see them as much, but they are. And so one of those things that we have to do is make sure that we're getting regular practice out there. Regular practice is going to make sure you're comfortable with guns and you feel familiar, and that comfort, that peace is just extremely important. And that's why I do a monthly women's session. So women's group, training group every month, because I want to make sure that those ladies that's out there in my area who is interested in holding guns and dealing with guns has the experience of that woman camaraderie. We need that sometimes. And we need to make sure that we support one each other on this journey of being a gun owner. There's a lot of things, there's tons of things to know and tons of things for you to learn to do. So this channel has lots of resources for you guys to have that information. And that's one of those things that I would love to make sure you guys have more resources just like this. So let me see, I'm gonna go into this chat here. Jason, it's dangerous for a woman to own a gun. Well, you're entitled to your own opinion. I say it's just as dangerous for a man to own a gun. I'm pretty sure someone else in the chat box can actually attest to that as well, considering most of the crimes that's handled with guns are actually by male hands. So with that being stated, Jason, you might have to do your research and find out some statistical data because in my opinion, definitely women are not the most dangerous creatures out here with the use of firearms, at least. And let's see, Jeremiah, thank you so much for joining. Hey, hey, hey. And let's see, Jason, they belong in the kitchen. Wow, Jason, I would love to see you fix a plate for me. I love a good cooked meal, and I'm glad my husband gets in the kitchen and help cook a meal for me every now and then too. So with that being said, I don't know, Jason, where you come from, but the world is changing. You may have to evolve with it, okay? Let's just say that. And respectfully so, that's your wishes and that's what you want. So I hope if you haven't already found your lady of choice, that maybe that's the woman that you pick for you, someone that's in the kitchen. So to each his own, that's okay. So thanks, Mike, for joining. Hey, 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 welcome back. So I'm just really excited about this whole Women's Month because, again, women kind of have this whole thing, innate ability to kind of take care of the kids, go to work, take care of the house, cook, clean, get it all done. What's left for us? Okay, so maybe us ladies sometimes have a spa day. Maybe sometimes we connect with other women and go out to, I don't know, go out to eat or something like that, or possibly a girls trip once in a blue moon. But for the most part, our day-to-day task is really out there to help others. And it's like one of those things where sometimes it gets overwhelming and we need something that's for us. And I'm here to tell you that going to the gun range is for me. That is a therapy that I absolutely enjoy. I cannot be disturbed. It's literally, I can't answer the phone. I can't hear you. So I can just go in there and shoot, and that's my therapy. So that's my getaway time, have fun, and just enjoy myself and just relieve any kind of stress that I may have. And it kind of helps me navigate through my emotions too. When I feel a little bit overwhelmed, I can let a few rounds down the range and I'm good. I'm good, so it's one of those things you got to kind of find your thing. And so when it comes to the whole idea that women handle guns with such, a certain way, those are also some stereotypes that I always like to debunk as well. Um, typically, getting our nails done, having long nails. A lot of times people like to say those things are in our way, but they're not. I have plenty of female students that I train that has longer nails and they learn how to shoot with their nails. So everybody's just different as to how they navigate life. There's no one shoe that fits all. And that's where I love to be able to help people from exactly what level they're on and help them build to the next level. So let me talk about some of the things that spirit me to do this whole month-long celebration. When it comes to women out there, we have such a big task already, but then we add firearms to it. And I remember me being a younger adult and having children and deciding that I wanted to own firearms. And I thought, how am I supposed to have a firearm on my hip and have a baby on my hip? And that was one of the things that disturbed me for a good while, trying to figure out how to navigate it all. And it took me a good while to get through it, to understand that there was a possibility for that. And so now I know how to do that. I know that it really stemmed from me not having familiarity with firearms and really trusting the gun. So now I'm to a point now where I handle the firearm on a regular basis and it's become second nature to me. It's an extension to my body, if you will. So much so that I do trust this gun. So I want to extend that to everyone else, especially women out there who are moms, because that comfort that we need to be able to defend and protect our family, it comes at such a high price. But we have to make sure that we are equipped with the knowledge, we're equipped with the skills, and that will help us have so much more confidence. And that's why this channel exists. So that way we can have that confidence that we need and be able to make responsible choices. So Jason, what you got for me here? Wow, they say women and cars don't mix. Just imagine a firearm. You know, these comments are quite interesting. I really appreciate you putting your thoughts out there. Like I said, I learn from everybody, and that's okay. You're entitled to your own opinion, so I'm not knocking it. That's how you feel. But I am going to tell you, I've done plenty of car shows for different events that my company has done, and there was lots of female presence. So women are heavily in the car industry as well, so don't get it twisted. So when it comes to this whole thing, Jason, yes, I do consider myself somewhat of a pro, although I have lots to learn. Just like everybody else, I never think or assume that I know everything. But yeah, I would say I'm pretty much a pro in this firearm industry as far as how to handle and use, particularly handguns. Handguns has been more of my niche. Sure, I can pick up any rifle and shotgun and shoot it. But I'm creeping into that industry as well to learn more and understand more about them. There's so many things to learn about firearms, and it has caused me to even be more of a historian even when it comes to firearms, the history of the evolution of them. It gets pretty deep for me when it comes to guns because there's so much to know. So when it comes to, this whole notion of women and the things that women need specifically, one of the things that I found to be true, and I did not believe it for so long, it took my husband to really convince me after some time that women need women instructors. I didn't think that to be true, but I actually was also a testament to that. My husband being someone who is having literally thousands of people he's trained and doing this through the military, through the civilian world. And I did not receive his training very well. He actually hired a female instructor for me. And when he did that, I was able to go back and do training with him. For some reason, it just kind of clicked with me connecting with another woman out there to be able to do these things. And I found that same connection when I'm helping my students. I've had plenty of husbands that I've done trainings with, and they would say, okay, I'm giving my wife your information so that she can sign up with you because I really want her to connect with you and learn because I'm having a hard time helping her, or my daughter even. And so I have done many, many, many trainings with, people's spouse or people's daughters, because that dynamic for some reason doesn't tend to work in a lot of cases. And I know for me, it's probably more so about the pushiness. Maybe my husband was a little bit too aggressive for me, and I was still a little bit timid, a little bit nervous, and I don't need anybody just being so aggressive or pushy, because he was used to the military, so he was fussing. And so I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't used to it, and I find that that's a very common thing at the range. We need somebody that's going to be a little bit mild for us, when it comes to that. And it helps. It really, really helps. So you guys tell me though, is there any things that you've experienced where women tend to not listen as much to guys at the range? I'm curious if this is you guys' experience as well, because that definitely has been something I've seen and I experienced multiple times. So being a mom, we have this job also of being a protector. Of course, that's dad's job. Not every household has dad in it, and sometimes dad may not be around. So who else is a protector than mom, right? And of course, we have plenty of superwomen walking around here. And when it comes to that protection, sometimes a bat is not enough. Maybe a knife might not be enough. Maybe a frying pan might not be enough. A hot pot of grease just might not be enough. And so there you have firearms. And there's so much to learn about it. There's programs out there that's designated specifically for women because of those thought processes. Because really, just the way Jason feels about women, there's plenty of other men out there who may feel the same way. I mean, for God's sakes, there might be some women out there who feel the same way. And that's okay. That's their opinion. I do believe otherwise. And I'm not the one to believe that women can do everything that men do and do it just as well or better. I'm not saying that much. I'm just saying this particular thing right here, in my personal experience, majority of my female students outshoot my male students, to believe it or not. And it happens so often than not. I mean, especially when I have couples and I do like their anniversary celebration or birthday celebrations or family outings, bachelorette parties. I find lots of times that the women will outshoot the men. It happens so much. And so it just goes to speak volumes that women are very capable in dealing with firearms and handling firearms, unlike the stereotypes that has been put out there in the past. And so these type of things really spirit me down the rabbit hole of saying, okay, not only do I need to get out here and do this training for these ladies, but I also need to get them the information. So me doing these interviews that I do on this channel is really to inspire ladies to not only deal with firearms, but also live their dreams. As I stated before, many women out there living their lives protecting and providing and helping everybody around them, but not themselves. And so many times before, our dreams just fall by the wayside, keep getting pushed back. All of our goals just falling by the wayside. And these are some other women that are out here that actually are living their dreams. And so I wanted to give a platform that showed that, to make sure that you guys know that you can, even though you may have these roadblocks in your way, you may have to wait a little bit, but don't give up on your dreams. If you want to be, an entrepreneur of any sort, if you want to be a YouTuber, if you want to travel the world, these are all things that are within your grasp, and you can do it. How you tend to live your life is really based on you and what it is you really, really want. If you really want it, you can do it. That is a fact. So, really think about it. You have people out here who's hooked up on, whatever drugs or alcohol, and they ain't got no job. But don't they figure out how to get their alcohol or get their fix? So if they can figure that out with no money, I'm pretty sure you as a woman can figure out how to live your dreams. And I know that's a terrible comparison, but I wanted you to know how extreme that thing is, for us to constantly make excuses and say that we can't do something when we definitely can. because I understand you're a mom and you may have younger children right now. You may have to wait a little bit. You may have to take a little longer to finish school and get your degree. All these type of things. I get it, but it is possible. It is still achievable. You can do it. Mental health and our emotional state goes hand in hand in how we deal with not only guns but our everyday life. Okay, so we do have to find some sort of balances. I know for my life it's a bit chaotic most days, but I do find some sort of balance. Me being an entrepreneur, I have to set rigid business hours. Okay, so that way I can find some time to be with my family. And so once I put the kids to bed, then yeah, me and my husband can get back to working. If we don't want to just spend a long time just hanging out, if we're just working, that's fine too. Sometimes that's me and my husband's time together, believe it or not. And so you guys have to find whatever system works for you. I know for me, it's literally, be with my kids in the morning time, be with my kids when they get home from school, get some dinner going and everything like that. And that's a normal work routine for me. And I try to work around my kids' schedule. And so that tends to work for the most part. Of course, there's challenges, especially days like this where I'm hanging out with you guys. Of course, my husband has the kids and that works. I'm happy. Thanks so much, babe, for having the kids. But trust and believe, as soon as I'm off, they're right back with mommy. So that's pretty much the way that works. And it works out. And the good thing is my kids are pretty good about it. They help out as much as possible and they're understanding. So it really kind of helps a whole lot. So this is so amazing that, we can be in this place and we can talk to each other and you guys can, pick up anything that I'm given and you guys give me information as well to help me with these things. So I would like to ask for any ladies out here, is it hard for you to balance that, work, mommy life? Am I the only person out here struggling with this? Because honestly, I find that it could be quite difficult for many. So I see I have Jasmine. Thanks so much for joining. Hey, hey, hey. And I'm so glad you were able to join. When it comes to this whole thing about making sure that we are the protectors for our kids, of course, we have to have the knowledge to do this. So that's why this platform exists. You can find plenty of things here about, maybe a gun review or, what to do when it's time to go to the range, what things you want to put in your bag. You can also find things about maybe how to take your firearm apart and clean it. It's a whole bunch of other little tips and tools I have out there, but embedded in these live virtual these interviews that I do with these ladies is really about their path. So whether it's a hairstylist, whether it's a woman's competitive gun shooter, or whether it's, a real estate agent, these are different ladies that I've done interviews with that I love to share that information with you because their journey is important. And most of them are moms. And it's interesting to see that they've actually been able to achieve having nonprofit organizations and, helping people here and there and doing this and doing that. And they're still a mom. I find it so amazing because when it comes to guys, in so many times, you guys tend to, in general, have the ability to climb the corporate ladder, so to speak, and not miss a beat. If you go to college, great. Go to college, finish, get your degree, go into the workforce, at 21, 24, whatnot, and then you're working up the corporate ladder. But when a woman has a child, she tends to just kind of be with that kid for a little minute, take some time off of work, take some time off of school. She's in school. And so things kind of halt until that child is able to fend on their own. And so therefore, now she's trying to figure out who she is. What does it mean to be her, outside of being a mom, outside of being a wife? And I'm pretty sure many women out there felt the same way. I know me going through that for a moment, I was a bit lost, didn't really understand where I fit in this world and what was my niche. But I'm happy now that I found it, and it just brings me so much joy to be able to help you guys to find your dreams. Is anybody out there that has something that you want to do that you haven't achieved? I'm just curious. Put that out there in the chat box for me. Because honestly, I'll support you as much as I can. If you want to start a YouTube channel, send me the link, and that way I can support you and subscribe just like you support me and subscribe. I mean, it's one of those things where we got to stick in there and be able to help one another. I do believe in that as well, because mankind or humankind tends to want to, lean on others and connect with others. And I feel like the more we do that, the more successful we can be. And that's just one of those things that goes hand in hand with every area of life, not just guns. And it's crazy to believe that this thing of firearms brings me so much joy, and I share this with people on an everyday basis. Just my students today had so much fun. They really, really enjoyed shooting, and they were really proud of themselves, the progress that they made in their training. But there's people out here who really are totally against this, totally against the fact that people being able to deal with guns. And it's crazy because really guns are just another tool. If someone wants to unalive someone, they don't need a gun to do it. That's just one thing we really have to understand. And then there's other uses of guns. There's sports. Like when we're going to the range, doing range training, that's literally like a sport. We're not there, necessarily trying to unalive anybody. We're literally getting some practice to be more accurate with our marksmanship. And that's one of those skills that takes some practice. And you got to keep working at it for you to be able to be comfortable and be great at it. So it's one of those things that you guys have to make sure you take some time to put in that work, and you can build that familiarity and that comfort. Jasmine, thanks so much for sharing that with me. You're writing a children's book. That's amazing. Please let me know when you got that thing together. I would love to buy it and support. I read books to my kids pretty much every night. I try to, at least. And that's one of the things that I enjoy doing with them, because I really want them to grow up and loving books and things. You can see I actually have books back here. So it's one of those things where I haven't actually picked up a book myself in a very long time, believe it or not, because I've just been all over the place. But I do need to get back to it. I know I got like 2 books in here I started and I put down, and I haven't picked it back up. So, which is crazy, because honestly, you guys, if you knew me when I was in grade school, I hated reading. Absolutely hated reading. You couldn't pay me to read a book. But then in my adult life, I found it to be calming and relaxing and therapeutic to just open up a book, sit outside, and just drink some tea or some coffee and just relax. Or just before going to bed, turn off the screen time and just open up a book and relax to go to sleep. So I found it quite calming. And so, I love to do that with the kids just before they're going to bed, so that they can have that same love and, feeling towards books. So Jasmine, you say you started about 3 years ago, but I'm giving myself grace because life and starting family takes, precedence. You are right. See, I'm telling you, you said it, girl. That's exactly what I'm talking about. If it had been a guy out there, no offense to you guys, but this book might have been done already. But ladies, we tend to just say, forget my needs. I'm going to do this because this has to be done. We go straight to mommy mode, straight to wife mode, and that's the most important thing. And so even now, I'm still always struggling with that, battling. I have to schedule time for myself. I put it on my calendar. This is my spa day. Don't nobody bother me. This is my relaxed day. So different little things like that to make sure my time is my time. So even if it is just sitting down in the middle of the night when nobody else is around and just watching a show of my choice or whatnot, just to relax to myself. So little things like that. But yeah, I really, really wish you the best, Jasmine, on writing your book. I know that you're going to finish it. Just keep it up. Try to make a task of maybe committing to 1 time a week that you spend maybe 30 minutes until you can start to doing more and more. Maybe that might be the goal to help you keep going. And if you need a remembrance, I don't know if you have iPhone, but if you do, maybe you can say, Siri, remind me, da 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 da. That's my personal assistant. That's just something I use all the time because I forget so much, but I can remember a lot with my personal assistant, Siri. So I go ahead and put that in my phone, set a reminder for a certain time, certain day, and make sure I get that task done. So you definitely put that in your task list. You can do this, Jasmine. I believe in you. So let's see. Grateful for supportive spouse. Oh, okay. Yep, that works. Thank you, supportive spouse, for Jasmine. That's amazing. You guys, please have to understand that men, I don't think they get enough accolades for the type of support that they do provide to us ladies. We need it. We definitely need it. Those times where you guys go and get the kids for us, like right now, my husband has my kids so that I can be able to do this. Amazing. It works. Those times where I'm out all day working and then he's cooking dinner that day. Oh my gosh. Can't tell you how much that helps. It just is. And it's one of those things where everybody's life dynamics, household dynamics rather, is different. And some people might be like how Jason was earlier in the text, and maybe he believes that women belong in the kitchen, but hopefully there's one day that he actually surprises his spouse and cooks for her, because maybe that's just gonna make their relationship last longer. So things like that really, really, I can't tell you guys how much it means to us that you surprise us with a sweet little, maybe a gift here or there, or maybe a date night. All types of little sweet gestures that can go a long way that we really need. We need that as ladies. And guys, just keep doing it. Just keep doing those things, because that's going to help your woman have better health and last longer. If you want her to live longer and live, a joyous life, just keep doing those things. And if you're not doing it right now, I'm telling you right now, you need to step up your game. Get in the kitchen, make her a meal. I guarantee you she's gonna love you for it. Even if you make her some hot dogs, some chili dogs or something, I don't think she's gonna care that it's not, a gourmet meal. Even if you can't cook that good, it's okay. She's gonna be happy for the gesture. And it's gonna really go a long way to say, hey babe, I see you, without you actually saying the words. So one of those things you have to do. I mean, hey, grab that basket of laundry and fold it for her and put it up. Telling you, you're gonna get some brownie points. Listen to Mrs. Trouble. I'm telling you, you're gonna get the brownie points that you need for that. So thanks everyone for joining today. I'm so excited for kicking off this month with you guys, because next week we have an awesome person that I work with often, Miss Monique of Lioness Defense. She's going to join us and talk a little bit about her experience of being a mom and an entrepreneur. Then I have another special guest from another firearm company the following week and the week after. So 3 ladies that are entrepreneurs in the firearm industry is joining me. I'm waiting to hear back from a 4th one. And then the final week, we're going to close it off with a panel of women that are entrepreneurs in various areas and their roadmap to being a mom and being an entrepreneur. So you guys definitely want to stick around, because each week I'm going to just keep on the information. And hopefully this information is very hopeful that can help you guys in your own lives. So as of right now, if you're here and you're enjoying this conversation, please just press that thumbs up button so people can actually see this video is worthwhile seeing. And I really hope that this information is helpful for you guys, that you can take this and grow everything and anything that you're doing. Like we have Jasmine here, who's a writer. I'm speaking it into existence, Jasmine. You are a writer of children books, and you're going to be successful. And who else do I have here? Men, I want to hear from you guys too. Let me know what goals and dreams do you guys have that maybe you did put on the back burner because you have children, because you have a wife, and you have bills. Like DMV Renovations said, you got bills, got to make sure you pay those bills. And I hear you. You're exactly right. Unfortunately, the world is just not going to go around without having enough money to pay them bills. And them bills don't care if it's COVID out there. They don't care if it's a recession. They want their money. And I figured out too, like I'm listening to the media and I'm hearing things, my area is the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And one of the things I found really heartbreaking on the radio the other day is it was close to 50% of residents in DC has fallen behind on their rent or mortgage. And I'm like, wow, that's a big number. Close to 50%. It was like 47%. And I'm like, that's crazy. It's one of those things where I'm like, come on now. These real estate people, whoever, people who own properties, can we get lower rent, lower mortgage? Because obviously something's not working. Something's not making sense. It doesn't make any sense that we send our kids out here. I have one that's about to get out of high school soon. I mean, and she's quite anxious about it because it's scary. The fact that you'd have to make enough money to be able to survive. I mean, what happened to the $700 rent? Whereas, I could make, $2,000, a month and be able to live off of that. That doesn't exist right now, at least not in the DMV area. I don't know other places, but that's far, far, far away. Like the average price of rent or mortgage is somewhere around the $2,000 mark when it comes to the DMV area. Okay. And so I just find it crazy because it's like people really need to make sure that we have enough money to be able to even live. And these grocery prices is ridiculous. That don't make it no better. So let's see what we got here. We got DMV Renovations. It said he need to make his money and pay his bills. And I'm here in single Mike. Oh, Mike, we're gonna get you a lady. I see. You cook and you clean. I love it. Y'all hear that? Mike, what state you in, Mike? Don't tell me the area for safety reasons, okay? You cook and you clean. Y'all hear that, ladies? Mike is available. He's on the market. Oh, you said West Virginia. Sorry. West Virginia. I hear you. You cook and you clean. I love it. You pay bills too, Mike? Because we need that too. Ladies, I know we need a lot sometimes. But guys, y'all not that easy either. Y'all need a lot of stuff too. So... Oh, I hear you, Mike. I see you in West Virginia and it's cheaper. Yeah, that might be the move. That's a gun-loving state too. That might work for me. That might work for our household. We're looking for some land so we'll be able to shoot on our property. That'd be great. So when it comes to those things, you have to understand like what it is you need out there and how to go and get it. That's what I'm encouraging you guys to do. When you leave here today, you should be pumped. Whatever it is that you are trying to do in life that's going to make your life more worthwhile, make a plan for it. Go towards it. Go ahead and start doing daily tasks to get on track. Don't look at yourself and say, I'm such and such age and I don't even know how I got here and I'm not proud of who I am. Okay, we all get there sometimes. You can do it. Just go ahead and start making those plans towards it. And then you'll be proud of yourself because when you look back, you'll realize, oh, I done did X, Y, and Z. So those are things that you can definitely do. Just take those baby steps and it's going to work way better for you than just keep putting it off and keep putting it off. I've definitely fell victim to that as well. Putting things off. That sucks. Because then it just piles up. Then I'm really disappointed with myself. So let's see. West Virginia, nothing but rednecks. I hear you. I hear you, DMV Renovations. I hear you. So, hey, that's one of those things, gotta, in the gun community, there's plenty of those in the gun community. And I got to deal with it all the time. When I go into a gun range and they first see me for the first time, it's like, who is that? What are you doing? I can't tell you how many times I've been watched over my shoulder about me handling guns. And I'm looking at them like, do you need to see my NRA instructor card to show that I am an instructor? Hey, look, pull up my website for my company. You'll see I am her when it comes to this firearm community. But it's amazing though, because I used to get agitated by that, but now I'm more so welcome it because it's like, okay, now you're going to really get to see my worth. Just sit back and watch. You watching me anyway. You'll see what I can do. So even if it's not my own shooting skills, I can get my students to hit bullseye, honestly. So I think I know what I'm doing. And that's one of the things that I love to see, that moment where the staff at the range, maybe a new location I'm going to, like I said, they begin to ease off and they finally start to say, okay, that's Mrs. Trouble. How you doing today, Mrs. Trouble? And it's kind of like they're noticing that I know what I'm doing and they see that I'm doing great service and I'm helping people. So I know that there's other people out here going to a range and they felt a little bit out of place. If that's you, put that in the chat box area. I would love to see, if it's male, female, did you feel out of place going into a range? Do you feel like all eyes was on you and people are judging you and wondering whatever they're wondering? And it could be some racist stuff. I will admit, sometimes it could be some racist stuff. I feel like people of color tend to get this whole, you don't know what you're doing, you don't need to be in here type of look. And I've had plenty of students to tell me that was their experience before. And I was trying to assure them that just stick in there, keep going, show them people you know what you're doing, and eventually they're gonna back up. They're gonna realize that, okay, you do know what you're doing. So oh, Drew, you said you white and you feel out of place at times at the range. Okay, okay. Well, that's a good feedback for me to know too. Thank you. And that's the thing. When you build that confidence of being there and it becomes a familiar place for you, eventually you won't feel like that anymore. You're gonna feel like one of the people that just hang out at the range. And that's just really what's gonna happen. You're gonna build that sense of community in that space. So I encourage you to just keep going. Keep going. Try to keep going to the same range and build that familiarity with the staff, you know, and you'll begin to see, okay, they'll lay off you for a while. They're very, very intense. I hear you. You're right. They're very intense with the security. And that is definitely one of those things where I can attest to that. Makes perfect sense. There's a range that I go to on a regular basis that just about 2 years ago, that this place happens to be an FFL dealer and they are a range. And there was a situation that happened where a man came in and bought a gun, and then he left right out the door and he literally unalived himself with his adult son there with him. And those type of things, the staff has to be the one to try to prevent. Those type of things, the staff is responsible for seeing any kind of warning signs ahead of time. And so I don't blame the staff there for that incident, because how could they know? You know, it's certain things like that that weighs heavy on them, I'm sure, for those who were involved in that situation of selling that firearm to that guy and so forth. I'm sure that weighed heavily on them, because it's on your conscience. It's like, this guy was just in here and I just helped them with this sale, you know, and they are on high alert because they got to make sure everybody's safe. And me speaking to the staff people on a regular basis, I understand how that feels. And I'm in there enough to see and understand. Even you might have some range locations that don't have range safety officers. I'm not a fan of those locations because I feel like nobody's watching the people in the range, which they typically aren't watching them well enough, or at least not in arm's reach, basically, in case there is an emergency where someone is mishandling the firearm. So when it comes to those type of situations, I'm like, I need to go to a range where there's range safety officers. I don't particularly like to go to ranges that does not have a range safety officer. So how about you guys? Do you feel the same way about that? How do you feel about going to a range with the range safety officer or not? Does it matter to you? I'm curious, am I the only one that feels like that? Because honestly, that already is a no for me. I'm not even visiting that location as much as I can help it. I'm not going to someone that doesn't have a range safety officer, because I want to focus on my student. I want to focus on myself when I'm doing training. I don't want to keep looking over my shoulder to see if everybody's being safe. I mean, because really most of the time you can't see. There are some ranges out there that has clear dividers, but most of them have dividers that are, you know, some sort of color that you can't see through, so you can't see to the next person. And so that's what makes me feel a little bit nervous about not having range safety officers. Michael Bennington, hey, hey, hey. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you jumping back in here today with me. Okay, let's see. What's a range with no range safety officer? That is a good statement. You're exactly right on that. See, we here, Michael. We here. Because when it comes to that, I mean, honestly, I just can't. I don't really understand how that range or those range locations operate without having mishaps. You know, I don't keep up with those places that's in my area that doesn't have range safety officers, so I don't really know. You know, besides what some of my students may tell me. I have some students that go to some of those locations, and they have told me. I remember I had a lady student who did a group training with her and her girlfriends with me, and she went to a range that was closer to her home that has no range safety officers there. And she was hanging out with some friends again, and oh my gosh, she was like, Mrs. Trouble. I had to call you and tell you I will be back with you because I do not feel safe at this location. She was like, she was hollering at her friends and fussing at the people next to her because they were just not handling the gun safe. And I'm like, well, where was the staff people? She was like, ain't no range safety officer there. She was like, basically, I was the range safety officer. I was like, wow. Wow. So needless to say, she definitely said that she's going to be back with me because that is just a no-go for her. And I understand. So it was just one of them things that was a nice wake-up call for me to know, hey, look, there are ranges out there that does not have any range safety officers. And just, Michael, apparently it is legal. Apparently. Because there's multiple locations that does not. Okay? And even, and I'm speaking of indoor ranges. I don't use outdoor ranges often, so I'm really not sure how those operate. But pretty sure there's some outdoor ranges that doesn't have range safety officers as well. So I'm curious, Drew, at the range where you're going to, do you notice if they have range safety officers there or not? I'm curious because honestly, it's one of those things. Who is that said they were in West Virginia? Mike, you too. Is it range safety officers where you are? Mike Hector. Make sure I'm specific about that because Michael, I'm pretty sure you might go by Mike, maybe. Because honestly, when it comes to those type of things, I mean, really, you got to go with what's comfortable and what works for you, right? And if that doesn't make you feel safe, then I don't know if that's the best location. So keep shopping. Keep shopping around. So is there any information that you guys would like to know in this month-long celebration about ladies and guns or moms and guns? Because I'm going to try to hit all those points and give you guys that information that you're looking for. Thanks, Mike Hector, for answering that question about the range safety officers in West Virginia location that you go to. So when it comes to this information, I'm here to make sure you guys have what you need. So guys, if you need to know more about moms and how to support moms, put that in the chat box area so I'll know. Ladies, if you need to know some tips about how to balance life and being an entrepreneur and being a mom, put that in the chat box area. I'm going to write down these notes and I'm going to make sure I incorporate it in our month-long celebration. So I'm providing you guys the information you're looking for. So this is the thing. Stay tuned because it's going to be a great, great month. We're going to grow together. We're going to learn so many things. We're going to explore all the ups and downs and the hassles of being a mom and being a firearm owner, the things that go along with that, and also being an entrepreneur. So my company was developed with the idea of my husband being a firearm enthusiast and firearm instructor. He wanted to train people. And at first it was just the military, and then he ventured off to start training civilians as well. And at first I wasn't so much involved with that part, At first I wasn't so comfortable yet. But then eventually I had a love and passion for, being a woman advocate and a child advocate. I worked in child care for many years, and I thought, well, what's the point of just training people for firearms? They need to know like when to use it, when not to use it. What's all the ins and outs about how to keep the kids safe? So we began to be more of a family business where we're servicing the family. So whether it's educating children about firearm safety awareness, not teaching the little ones about using the gun, but teaching them about how to stay away from guns and whatnot. So those are type of things that we kind of stress and train in all of our training to make sure our students understand it's a great responsibility to be a firearm owner, and helping you have the tools to know how to keep not only yourself safe, but your family, because that's the reason we tend to be firearm owners in the first place, is protecting the entire family, not just ourselves. So with that being said, you need to know how to talk to this 5-year-old child that you have. You need to know how to give information to your 16-year-old child. So those are, or teenager, those are things that we really need to understand and we need to navigate. So that's the reason why my company exists, to provide those type of tools. I meshed a little bit of my husband, a little bit of myself, and here we are, making sure you guys have what you need. And this channel here is an extension to that, making sure that my ladies get the support that they need, because I know we need to look a little special love and care to make sure we're confident and comfortable in this field. So Drew, you said guns are addictive. You collect. Ooh. I have some more lady friends that I'm bringing on that can attest to that as well. So we are going to talk a little bit more about those collecting of guns, because it does get a bit addictive. And if you guys took special notice to the picture that I put out there, I'm manifesting, okay? The picture for this thumbnail today is my June bug. Look it up if you don't know. But it's a P365 macro, and it's nicknamed June bug. Holds a special spot in my heart. And the reason why is because Bugs Bunny is my favorite cartoon character. And if you remember, for any of those who might remember, I hope I'm not throwing out my age, but for the month of June, it was Junebug. And they played Looney Tunes all month long, Bugs Bunny all month long. And I remember one specific summer, I was sick. I can't remember what was wrong with me, but I was sick, and I was in the bed for days and days and days. It felt like forever, of course, because I love to be outside. And I sat there and I watched Junebug, day in, day out, all day, all through the night, you know, and that gun just kind of represents that for me. And of course, my first love in color is blue, although I love purple too nowadays. But growing up, it was always blue for me. It was my favorite color. So that gun, I'm manifesting. You guys manifested with me. I'm going to own that gun. Just got to have some other responsibilities taken care of first before I can go and add that to my collection. But that is a must. I need it. I just need it. So is there any guns out there that you guys have on your list? I should say your gun list. Something like a bucket list that you feel like you just got to get. Because honestly, I can't be the only one out there that just googly eyes for something shiny and beautiful and new when it comes to guns. Because there's so many things out there. I know one of the newest guns to my collection I love is a bullpup. Oh, it's so fun. I never really seen myself being a shotgun shooter, but now I done went down that rabbit hole. I think I'm a shotgun shooter now. So for those who think that ladies don't handle guns well, I have plenty of students that shot that bullpup with no problem. It is amazing. So I would again love to see any comments you guys have in the comment section about things that you want to hear about and learn about in these next couple of weeks when it comes to being a firearm owner, when it comes to being a mom and being a firearm owner, or just inspiring you to live your dreams. If you want to know some more tips about how you can be a better entrepreneur or even start your path to being an entrepreneur, let me know. These are things that I'm going to weave into these conversations that we're having these next few weeks for the whole month of May. We're going to give you everything we possibly can and make sure you guys are successful out there, because I want you guys to be happy and thrive. I mean, honestly, the world is full of possibilities. Don't give up on your dreams. You can do it. So until next time, you guys definitely be safe. Head out there to the range. Specifically you, Drew. Get out there to that range. Get some practice. Get those people on your team and let them know that you know what you're talking about and you're doing well. They'll back up off of you. So definitely I want to encourage you guys to definitely stay safe. Get that practice out there. Take a look at some of these videos I have already posted, especially these interviews with some of these amazing women out there living their dreams. If you need a little inspiration, I guarantee you those would be a great pickup. If you need some more tips in firearm ownership, I'm pretty sure I have plenty of videos out there. If it's not lives, it could be some shorts with some gun tips. I know one major one that people tend to struggle with is how to load ammunition. If you need to know how to do that, I have a video specifically for that. So plenty of content out there. So just, again, put in the chat box area if it's something you don't see that you want to see or you want to know more about. And I'll do my best to make some content out there for it. So I'll see you guys though. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. And don't forget to press that subscribe button if you haven't already, and press the notification button as well. So that way you'll be sure to know when we do go live again. Okay? Stay tuned. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for joining. Have a good night. Of course, you're welcome. Drew, you're welcome. Keep collecting.